Thank you very much. So first of all, everyone, thank you very much for having me, and everyone that's dialing in, thank you very much for dialing in. My name is Aram Lauxtermann. I am not here alone. If we go to the next page, I'm joined by Trevor Chin and by Ken So, who are both tech leads, one of them of our cloud team, the other one of our data team. And I'm head of cloud and data. Basically, today we're going to have a brief conversation about what is KPMG Cloud Next, which is our cloud platform, and what is our data platform that sits on top of that. The main goal of what we're trying to achieve is that we're trying to explain how within a time period of a year and a half, basically Cloud Next has gone to more than a dozen different countries, how we have private and public sector clients. Also, we had a little bit of media attention that went a little bit smoother than a computer that crashes right away. We were featured twice on Microsoft Ignite. We do a lot of Microsoft work. We were featured on Hybrid. We did some work with Vortel. And basically what we want to do today is something which is pretty unique for us, because most of the time it's just a PowerPoint sales deck. And this time what we're going to do is also we're going to show what we actually build under the hood. What are the core principles? I'm going to start with an introduction that takes about 5 to 10 minutes maximum. And after that, I'm going to hand over to Trevor. Trevor will then show our GitOps model, our cloud model. And after that, Ken is going to go into more detail about what we do with data engineering, how we do DataOps. So let me kick this off because we have some time to gain after all the startup problems. So when we designed Cloud Next and the data platform that sits on top of that, we wanted to design a low-cost, very secure cloud environment. We wanted to keep it as simple as possible, so implement the KISS model. We knew that we would go multi-cloud. We started first working on Microsoft Azure, and after that we were also doing AWS. There are probably multiple clouds on the roadmap. And one of the things that was essential is we wanted to have a repeatable model. We saw, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into that in the upcoming slides, we saw that prices could drastically increase over time. So we were thinking, how can we make something that is simple, secure, which is infrastructure as code, so that we can repeat what we're doing, and we're going to show all those different concepts. Because we are originally people that build solutions and we put solutions in the market within KPMG Ignition in Tokyo, we said we actually don't want to focus on having virtual machines. A lot of the things that we do are within Docker containers, or we have data platforms where we have data lakes and data bricks. From that perspective, we said we should right away focus on going cloud native, on having all these different PaaS services that we use, and focusing heavily on containerization to host our APIs. Because what we build is very much in line with the best practices of our cloud service providers. We feel comfortable in handing out high-level SLAs similar to a cloud service provider. We reimburse, and we offer sandboxes for testing. Because we basically build a lot of these different microservices, we do a lot around data engineering. We said infrastructure as code and the GitOps model are easy for us. We work for a consultancy firm, so we're heavily regulated. We do a lot of different audits, and we want to make sure that also within our technology, we have a full audit trail that we can follow over every security implementation or action that was performed for our system. And there we found an answer in the entire GitOps model, which Trevor will explain in a little bit more detail. Also, if we take a look at the different cloud types and what we saw that a lot of companies that migrate have this natural transition from an on-premise environment to basically copying their VM stack or their stack to VMs, and then after that transitioning to containers. We really wanted to skip over that original virtual machine environment setup. The main reason was we didn't want to think about hardening operating systems if our value proposition is way higher in the stack and revolves around data, revolves around that application layer. Also, because we didn't want to build a data center in the cloud, but we wanted to go cloud native, we also started looking at security within a cloud environment and within our data platform from a cloud perspective and not from an infrastructure perspective. We were most afraid from the start that having people SSH or RDP to our servers was a way higher risk on having secure, good APIs that we could use. Now, what do we do around security? On a high level, basically, we have a lot of different policies on AWS and on Azure that prevent malicious behavior, audit it, and can remediate it. We have automated everything from end to end. Then on the predictive analysis slide, that site that you see over here, what we basically do is that we use technologies like Azure Sentinel, but not only as a security information event monitor. We actually extend the functionality with SOAR, which stands for Security Orchestration Automation Response. So if we see certain patterns based upon the models that we have trained that could be malicious, we can proactively block that. And it all comes back to the same vision. And the same vision is basically, we want to automate as much as possible. We want to have an auditable system. From a security perspective here under immutable, we also want to limit the attack surface that we have. So having immutable or ephemeral architecture is something that we prefer. Then how do we link all of this together to also the financial models and the business around it? And before I came to Japan, I was reading a lot of different publications that were very, very good and very descriptive about total cost of ownership model. Now, if we take a look, we tried to break it down and how do we try to do these different structures? One of the things was for strategic planning and decisions, we thought we should stay in line with our cloud service providers. We do not want to enforce a paradigm upon Microsoft that is not native for Microsoft, and the same thing for AWS. Why? Because if their cloud changes, we have this added risk that we're not in line with the change anymore, and that we have to rewrite massive parts of our code base as infrastructure as code. So from a strategic decision and planning, we're taking a good look at what are the best practices, where are they going, what are they doing? Learning and development, we're focusing on higher in the stack. And because we use PaaS components, implementation, configuration, and integration, most of the time hook very well into each other. Then the most essential part on the CapEx side is we do not want to underinvest in the migration. The scariest thing that we saw was that you lift and shift your architecture too quickly, and then you don't have all the added benefits of cloud. But you're still paying a little bit more because your data center didn't have that scalability already built into it. And evaluation, we evaluate, are we still in line with the best practices and where the market is going? And we see the biggest part of our cost savings on the operational side, so on the OpEx side, where we see that hosting has increased a little bit because the PaaS service is a little bit more expensive than a VM. But with maintenance modifications and system failures, we see drastic reductions over the pricing. We offer 24/7 support models. We also have 8x5 support models where clients can open incidents, service requests, and we reimburse them if something goes wrong. Then one of my last slides to guide you through it, and this will explain a little bit in my introduction how everything fits together. So on the bottom, we have user management. Then on top of that, with that Cloud Next core, we have networking, we have security, and we have auditing. Then on top of that, we have these different platforms. And one of the key ones is our data platform, which Ken is going to present. And we also have a container platform. We also have a serverless platform. And then on top of that, we have these different projects and solutions that we build for our clients that use different parts of these platforms. Trevor will explain in a little bit more detail that everything is composable and modular, and that you can reshuffle these platforms in very, very different manners, because one size does not fit all. For any questions, you can always reach out to our marketing team. Thank you, everyone, very, very much.